Okay, it's second day of this actual refining process, and what we have here is this is where we ended up last night with the inquarted gold, having most of the silver and copper, other base metals, removed. And this is our silver that we're going to recover later. Now, if you remember, I put a silver coin inside here last night to try to get rid of the excess nitric, try to use it up, and as you can see, the coin is gone. It's completely disappeared. So what we're going to do to make sure we get rid of all the nitric is we're just going to put another silver coin in there. Didn't want to drop it, but oh well. We'll leave that in there and let it dissolve, and that'll get rid of the last of the excess nitric. And if you look closely, you can see I had just put it in there and it's already starting to bubble. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it. We'll give it a try. But anyway, we'll come back to that a little bit later. Right now we're going to key on this. And we're going to go into the fourth nitric acid boil. So we have fresh distilled water from last night. We're going to put a little bit more in there. We're going to bring it up to about the, I guess around the 200 mark. And got some fresh nitric acid. We're going to put in 200 mLs of concentrated nitric acid. ml. And give it some heat, turn on the heat, close up the acid, we'll add this nitric, and hopefully we won't get a blue color. It'll stay nice and clear, which will indicate that our inquarted gold has completely been rid of silver and other base metals. So we're going to let that boil. It's 11:53 right now, and we'll let this heat up and we'll come back. So as you can see now, we have a nice rolling boil on our fourth, well, it's fourth and a half really, nitric acid treatment. It's been boiling now for about 8 minutes. We have no fume production. no red fume production. There's probably some nitric gases coming out. However, the solution is clear, the fumes are clear. I'm going to say that all the copper for sure is out, because if there was copper in there, it'd be turning blue. Copper is what really causes it to turn blue. So the copper is gone. I'm going to assume that the silver is all gone, but we're going to test that to see if there's any silver in it, and we'll do that right now. I'm going to turn off the heat. And let it settle down for a minute. So what I'm going to do is uncover this. I had to go in the house and get something. I'm going to take some of this solution and we'll put it in this little glass. It had a tiny bit of hydrochloric acid in it, and you can see it turned foamy. So there's silver in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this boil some more, because it seems to me there is more silver coming out of here. So we're going to let it boil for a while, and then we'll do another nitric treatment and test again. Okay, we're back boiling. So because I took this sample over here, in here, I sampled this into a little bit of hydrochloric acid, which I have right here, and it immediately turned cloudy. It formed silver chloride. It's safe to assume that I still have, even though all the copper is gone, or 99.9% of it, I still have some silver in here. So I'm going to let this boil for about an hour. I'm going to save this nitric acid. I'm going to assume that it's not all used up, and we'll go from there. We'll test it again. Okay, if you look carefully, you can see it's starting to get a slight greenish blue hue to the solution, which means it is pulling more base metals out. Maybe a little bit of copper, a little bit of silver, but it's still pulling it out. So this gold wasn't quite ready for aqua regia yet. So we're going to let it go. We got about another half hour to go before I shut this down and evaluate it. Okay, this solution has been boiling for 50 minutes now. It hasn't gotten any darker. So we're just about done with this fourth boil. What I wanted to show you here is I pulled the silver coin out of this solution. It had stopped reacting, and I'm pretty sure there's still free nitric in this solution here. So I'm going to test it by put this silver coin in this watch glass here. I'm going to take some solution in this nitric acid, and I'm going to put some on the silver coin, and we'll see if it reacts. Look at that reaction. So as you can see, there's plenty of free nitric still in here. It doesn't seem to be getting any darker. We know there's silver in there because I previously tested it with HCl. So what we're going to do is put this back in here. So we'll leave that coin in there to pick up any other free nitric. We're going to shut this down. And we're going to save this in a used nitric acid container. So we're going to move this silver aside. Set it over there for now. Put my used nitric bottle in there, and we're going to pour that off into there, because I want to make sure that there is no silver left in this in quarter gold. So it's calmed down a bit. Let me get a good grip on it. We'll carefully pour this in to the nitric bottle. Okay. Give it a little rinse. It's sure looking pretty, but there apparently was some silver and a little bit of copper left in here. So rinse it a few times. Put it back on the heat, and we'll boil it in a little bit of distilled water to rinse it. A couple hundred ml, a little less. Let that boil up. Cover that up. Not tight, we'll let it cool off. And that'll be some nitric acid for my next refining. Let's put that silver back in here in case something happens to it, and let's boil this. Okay, as you can see, this distilled water is boiling well. It's been boiling only about 5 minutes now. Solution appears nice and clear. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pour that off into my silver jar, turn off the heat, open up the silver jar, and pour this off. rinse. And we'll do one more quick boil. About 100 ml, that'd be enough. Turn the heat back on. Cover it up. Cover up the silver. And let that boil one more time. Okay, this second rinse water boil has been going for 10 minutes now. So what we're going to do is we're going to test it to see if there's any silver in this rinse water. Take a pipette. Take my shot glass, and we'll put a couple of pipettes full of rinse water in there. See, we have some in there. Now we're going to take some hydrochloric acid. And we'll put some drops of hydrochloric acid into the rinse water. If there's any silver present, it will get cloudy. You put about 2 milliliters in there. And you can see that it's clear. So there is no free silver in that rinse water. So then I know that rinse water is clean. So what we're going to do is take it off the heat. We'll dump it into our silver jar, and we're going to do one more nitric boil. I know it seems like a tedious process. I wish I could make it go faster. But I want to make sure there is no silver or base metals left in this gold before I go to Aqua Regia. Let's pour off this rinse water into our silver jar. Nice and rinsed. The gold looks good. Nice and caramel colored brown. We're going to put about 150 milliliters of distilled water. And about 150 milliliters concentrated nitric acid. Concentrated nitric acid, 150. And this will be the 5th boil. Let's turn on the heat. Stir. The time is 1:10. We'll let it cook. This 5th boil has been boiling now for about 5 minutes. It looks super clear. It looks really good. I'm gonna let it go another 5 or 10 minutes and we'll test it. See if there's any silver in solution. Okay, it's 1:30. This nitric boil has been going for, I think it's 20 minutes now. What we're going to do is we're going to test this and see if there's any silver in it. So, turn off the heat. We're going to take a sample. There's a little beaker, a couple of pipettes full. Pipette's getting hot. Alright, it's not going to work because my pipette melted, so be right back. I got to get another one. Okay, you can see that pipette is not going to work anymore. So we'll get rid of that. Get another sample. That's all we need. Not too much. The nitric acid fifth boil solution. What we're going to do, get some hydrochloric acid. Regular hydrochloric acid. You buy it from Ace Hardware. Oh, sorry. See if I try to get it on camera here. We'll get some out. And another pipette. And we'll add it to the nitric solution. Now, swirl it around and we'll see. We have no silver chloride. We do have a slight yellow tinge to it. I'm going to bet that's gold in solution. I did hear from someone that you can put gold in solution with nitric acid. This is a very small amount, but it is there. So we'll put that aside for now. At least we know there's no more silver. It's not cloudy at all. No cloud. This is ready. We're going to save this. We're going to save this in a container also for used nitric acid. So let's put this silver aside. Put it in the back for now. Put our nitric bottle in here so in case we spill it, it doesn't go all over the deck. We get on a hot glove and we'll pour off that fifth nitric boil. We're going to save that in our little nitric bottle. And that is our gold, and it's done, ready for aqua regia. So let's cap the nitric. We'll leave it loose because it's hot. It's good used nitric. Put our silver back. That silver coin in there is still dissolving. Anyhow, we're going to rinse this off. With distilled water. Now we're going to give it a distilled water boil just to clean it up. Heat back on. We'll boil that up, and then we're going to be done with the nitric treatments. Back in a few. Okay, we have a good boil going on over here. Distilled water cleaning boil. It's been going for about 15 minutes now. We're going to turn off the heat. We're going to pour it off into our silver jar. Get my hot glove on. Pour that off. A little rinse. One more time. And we are ready for Aqua Regia. Beautiful, caramel colored. All base metals removed. And we're ready to dissolve it in Aqua Regia and go to the next step in the process. Enjoy.